What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about ZBCN today, Zebec. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are at about 00337, 3369. Now we're at 337. 8 hours, 12 minutes left in this day, the 9th day of July. What an immaculate bounce that is right there, my friends. What a very immaculate bounce indeed. In fact, I want to look at this with something that has volume on it just to see. It's nothing crazy, right? It doesn't look like a lot of volume here in comparison to this, right? And this is a 45-day weighted average, so it is below average compared to 45 days ago. However, if you look at this, it really is above the predominant majority. It's the same thing. The majority, let's just say, of volume based by the daily candle closes over the last month or so. So it's good. It is above average volume as you're moving up. On that note too, as you're moving higher, you do not necessarily need volume here. You really only need it when you're breaking out, right? Like here, you see there was less volume even here than on your drop, right? You had no volume on these days here, but once you broke out, that's when the volume started to come in. So it's not that important. Volume's good and all, but you want to see, it would actually be, and it's something I've learned in my time, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if we were to move up here and then we got these levels of volume right here at this level, that would mean we're probably going to go lower. You know what I mean? You don't want to see that. It can increase. Increasing as time goes on is fine as we're moving up higher, but it's not a requirement until really we're breaking out. And I would say, looking at this here, we'd start breaking out. I mean, obviously at new all-time highs you're breaking out, but I would even say right here at 20524, something around there, I would consider that breaking out too, because this is kind of your topping area. You can see if we try to use our seeing eyeballs here, you've got this blemish here, but other than that, you've kind of got this square zone right here. You see it, right? You found resistance on it here. When you did, you went lower, right? You break out above this area here. I would say once you get above about 2053, 2054, whatever, 2055, 2052, something in that area. If we had to give it an actual price, let's just put it on the fibs. The 786 is probably good enough. 2056 even. 2056, if we can get above there, and when we get above there, that ideally would be when we start to see levels of volume come in that are at a larger rate than what we've got now. Until then, I'm not really worried about it. But even still, this is good volume. I'm sure if we look it up on CoinMarketCap, let's look at it here, ZBCN. I'm being so specific on this because some people, they'll write in the comments, they'll be like, well, it's moving up without volume, but the TradingView, one exchange, it's not the best representation. CoinMarketCap has a better representation, 17.9% of your volume to market cap ratio in a 24-hour period. That's good volume. That's really, I don't care what the average is. That's good volume. That's exactly what you want to see, actually. That's ideal volume. That's very desirable volume right there. Looking at ZBCN, you have tipped your 382, right? You went right on up to the levels of 0035. I think yesterday I said we're going to go up to 0034, so whatever. But I think I said at least there, right? Something around there, but who cares? It's not about being right or wrong. If I thought about it, looking at this high to low, maybe I would have actually said the 382 would be where we'd go, because that makes a lot of sense. Now, you could find resistance here right now. Oh, what's going on? It's not letting me draw. Hold on. There we go. You could find resistance right here, right now, and then move down to your 236 and then move up. Or you could, and it's very common with the 382, especially on the first attempt, which you're having that right now. This is your first attempt. Let's just check on Bitcoin. Oh, see, the price wasn't moving, so I was like, what's going on here? There we go. Yeah, okay. I was like, it hasn't moved for a second. I like to check in on that while I'm talking, All right, we'll leave that there. I was like, why hasn't it moved? What about XCN? XCN is live and well. Anyways, it's very common to wick above the 382 and then close below it. So if we were to get above 0035, if we do see a new high relative to today, don't get too excited, right? It's exciting, but don't get too excited. We're probably not just going to rip right through the roof. I know that everybody is euphoric, and what's the word? What's an appropriate word here? Reminiscent, let's say, reminiscent of the good times that came before. And because of that, we're thinking, hey, it's going to happen right now. We're going to get another 10x 1 month. You're counting down the days. That's how it's going to be. Probably not exactly like that, right? And if you look, this is what we remember of the last move was here, right? Was this glorious end. But this was the beginning of it, right? Less straight up. It was a little bit more up, down, up, consolidated. A little bit of a wick down and then up. Then you went on the glory run. So you're going to get set up here over the coming weeks. You're going to move up over the coming weeks, absolutely. And going into the end of July, I do expect that you will be up at higher prices. But as far as full-blown breakout mode goes, that'll be determined. I don't want to give it a time frame, You know how great I am with time frames. 0052, 0055, something in that area. Once we break above there on a daily closing basis, I would even say, like, screw the fibs. I would say that that's a fine area right there. 0052, close above there on a daily time frame, because that's your highest daily close right there in this whole area anyways. Obviously these are higher, but I just mean in this box that we drew earlier, right? That would be good enough for me to assume that we are going to start to see stuff like this, right? Now, don't mistake that with, if we get up here, that means we're breaking out immediately. We could get up here, wick, close below, kind of consolidate around it, right? Have a couple of attempts, and then, boom, then we break out of our broadening top. I don't know, whatever pattern it might be when we're up there. Maybe we do just go full-blown ballistic. No pun intended, but bullistic, full-blown bullistic. Now it's intended. I might start saying that more often. You guys know where it came from now. From a low to a high. Bouncing right off the 0.5, couldn't even get there. You're back above the 382. You're just looking great, man. You're looking really great. And until we're up at that area, I would assume that you're going to slowly, casually work your way back up, right? Do your thing. And if we're looking at, maybe this is not the best fib, actually. Let's use this fib here. High to low. 382, perhaps you do go back down, and don't get scared if we go to 00305. 00305, that area right there would be a perfect area to find support. You've already shown that you found support above your 0.5, so don't count on getting there exactly. You might front run it and find support a little bit above it. Don't get discouraged if you wick a little bit below it. This thing's got a low market cap. It can get squirrely. It's fine. It's totally fine if it gets squirrely. We're not afraid of the squirrels, okay? We're not like those people that killed Peanut. Those, R.I.P. Peanut. 236 here. Bounce there, continue up to the golden ratio, and that, look at that, the golden ratio is actually a perfect area right here where you would consolidate right below the area that you'd look to break out of. So do we go down to the 236? Maybe, maybe not. Typically in this kind of situation where you find resistance at the 382, I would expect that. And then you go up to the golden ratio. It's like a classic maneuver. It's something that I really normally do count on, but lately I've noticed across the space in crypto, we've been going up to the 0.5 and then down to the 236, which is a little bit more volatile. Or consolidating around the 382, you know, hitting the 0.5, consolidating, and then moving up to the golden ratio. So, and sometimes even through it. So, and then also, real quick, just to touch back on something, just because we do inevitably get a day that closes above here, doesn't mean that that day, now we compare it to this, right? That doesn't mean that it's necessarily like that. I don't expect this move to be the exact same as the last move, but I do think it'll be robust. Perhaps even more robust. Who knows? It might be more meticulous, more methodical. We'll see. Very impressive, though. There's clearly a lack of selling pressure, clearly an enhanced amount of buying pressure at these levels. People do want to buy ZBCN. You don't get this kind of reaction off of this area without demand, right? Or at least the lack of whatever the supply, right? That is definitely an immaculate reaction right there. That's exactly what you want to see. Bouncing off the daily RSI, we're getting in the oversold zone, out of the oversold zone. Perfect rejection. It looks great, right? I mean, here, whenever you rejected the oversold zone, look, you just went all the way back to your starting point. I mean, could we go all the way back to our starting point? I think we could. I don't expect it to be a directly straight shot up there, but over the coming weeks, guys, we should be at prices. Certainly by the end of July, we should be at prices that are at least at like 2045, if not higher. I would not be surprised at all if we were above 2055 by the end of the month of July, and then pushing new all-time highs in August. I don't think we'll see new all-time highs in July, but it can happen. Absolutely can happen. Again, timing's not my strong suit. It's hard, this timing stuff, man. Looking at this here, a lot of volume coming in, which is nice to see. Is this moving again? Okay, cool. A lot of volume coming in. You've got a lot here. This is a pretty big spike at the top, and you're not really going anywhere. Yeah, you probably do pull back. That's where you hit that 382, so you probably do pull back from here. No bearish divergence, but you know, I find it funny. Like here, right? Look at all the times if you're trying to buy this bullish divergence. We've got bullish divergence. No more bullish divergence, and that's where you found your low, right there, right? That it's once you got rid of the bullish divergence. That's when you found your low. Actually, that's not a good example because technically from this low to this low, that is bullish divergence there. So you got me there, but I'm just saying, and close enough nonetheless, but it's whenever you get rid of your bullish divergence sometimes, or bearish divergence, that you top off or bottom out, and I think that's what we're doing here in this case. Looking at this in a different perspective, let's see, from a high to a low here. All the way up, you like that 1886200. You like to, that's kind of weird, but this seems to be your thing, ZBCN. Keep that in mind, you guys. And now that we're on to you, ZBCN, you probably don't do this maybe more than just like 1 or 2 times, right? It's not going to be a obvious area forever, but look at that. That looks exactly like how you topped off here. Whenever we take this high to low, high here to your double bottom all-time low bounce, you went just above the 1886. It's perfect, right? It's absolutely perfect. It looks the exact same. I mean, obviously a little bit different, but basically the exact same as far as performance goes. Yeah, you're probably going to pull back. Where'd you pull back to here? To the golden ratio, right? So where's the golden ratio here? That's at $0.0321. 0.0321. I would think you go a little bit lower, personally. That's my thought. Yeah, I would. I mean, you could find support there. I don't have a problem with that. But you might go down to 0.03 at the lowest. Again, if you go a little bit below there, it's not a problem. Don't worry about it. But I definitely do expect some kind of a pullback from here. And I mean, with that direct resistance right here at this 382, I know I have 2 fibs on here. The 1272 is all the way down here. Like, why not? Why not go to the 1272? And maybe you find support just above this area, but still something. I would think you go below 0.032, yet above 0.03 for support, and then you continue working your way up. Just because this was a nice lick to the upside doesn't mean that you're going to just keep ripping like that all the way up, but I do expect a rather robust move coming still. This is just your kind of like first reaction off of your low. I would expect that what you're probably going to do is like slowly come down, consolidate, do your thing, and then, you know, a few days later, maybe sometime next week, that'll be whenever we start moving up again. But yes, over the weeks to come, you should be moving up. You're right here at this lower high kind of trend. I'm not drawing it appropriately, but you actually, it looks like you probably broke out. I can't draw a straight line. Let's see. Let's double check that. Yeah, looks like you broke out. So you'll probably just pull back just like this, literally how I have it drawn here. You probably pull back right along this line, find support sometime over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday at 0.03, and then next week you'll start moving back up again. That's my expectation. Where to? 0.046 to 0.05. If not there, then higher, just a little bit higher. And then you'll probably find turbulence there as well, right? Come back down to this area, the 382, maybe the 0.5, somewhere in this zone, and then we can make an attempt to go to higher prices going into the end of July. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It's doing all right, man. This thing's doing all right. It's good to see. Yeah, volume's coming in. All the right things. All the right things in all the right places. All right. Good job. Take care. Bye-bye.